Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're back after a bit of a hiatus. So, what did we watch today, brother?
We watched Inferno, which is the Dario Argento sequel to the Dario Argento movie called Suspiria, which I did not know until after the movie was over.
Yes, that's correct, bro. We did watch Dario Argento's... Inferno, not Suspiria, right? Yeah.
Inferno.
Yeah.
Not Suspiria.
I was about to say Suspiria, but it was Inferno.
Did you read that ghost?
Yes. It's... So many ghosts are in here, so many creaks and cracks.
I'm scared.
Me too.
I think that was scarier than
I think I was about to make that joke too. I think that creak sound was a lot more scary than anything.
It really was,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
Let's get these floors checked out though.
Yeah, well, it's an old house. But anyway, so yes, we watched Inferno. We have some really deep, riveting thoughts on it, don't we, bro?
The only thought I have is so you know who I am? No. I'm looking for my sister. That's the only reason why I'm here. Who are you people? What is going on?
The best way to describe this movie is a movie that's full of itself, and outside of anybody in this movie, nobody else around it knows what the hell's going on.
Does anybody know what's going on?
That's my point. It's like the villains in this film are so full of themselves that everybody knows who they are and what they're all about, and the reality is nobody knows what the F is going on.
No.
That's my favorite line in the whole movie.
It really is.
So you must know who I am. No, I have no idea who you are or what's going on here.
I was the writer of that book that you guys have been reading this whole movie.
I haven't been reading any book.
He did, because he kept quoting it's under the soles of your feet.
Because
it's under the soles of your feet.
Because that was the lines his sister gave him in the letter or something.
But he didn't get to read the letter, remember? It was the other chick who read the letter.
No, but there's...
He had the book on the table.
Did he?
I think he did. He kept quoting the line, but I don't know how or when he figured that out.
No, you know where he got it from?
Where?
It wasn't from the other chick he talked to. She was telling him. Remember the one who was the sister's friend who appeared out of nowhere in the hallway and showed him where those holes in the wall where you could talk into? And she was there for like 5 minutes before she got killed off?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I don't remember
that character was extremely memorable, I know, as so many other characters in this movie were.
So she probably told him.
I'm pretty sure she's the one who told him.
It's under the soles of your feet. Okay.
So basically all the information he got, I believe, was actually from her, not from the book. Because he never read the book, as far as I remember. That's how memorable this film is. So if he actually did read the book, I don't remember him doing it, because I believe he got the information secondhand. But yeah, so the villains just assumed he read the book when he just got the information secondhand. They assumed he knew who they were when he had no idea what they were or what was going on, because he was just looking for his sister. So I mean, like, the villains were so up their own butts, they were so full of themselves, they were like, yes, you must be after me, you must know who I am, blah blah blah, this is who I really am. And he's like, yeah, I don't know, I don't care, I just want to find my sister, I want nothing to do with this, bye.
Come closer, an old man in a chair can't do anything. You stabbed me, I guess I'll have to save you.
And this movie was so all over the place, you didn't really know who the true protagonist was until almost the end of the film, where it's like,
dude.
It was like, oh, it's the dude, because you're the last one alive, and technically at this point you now have the most screen time out of anybody.
Yeah.
It's like, but earlier on in the film,
you really survived, and so did the chick from the first one, right?
Oh, no, she died.
No, she got out. The main character from the first movie. She burned
the
place
down. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, she burned the place down and got out. I thought you meant from this movie. Yeah, there's two.
So there's this plot line of these mothers. There's 3 mothers, which this dude built a house for the 3 of them, not knowing why. I mean, I don't know why. To contain them, because they asked him to, because they controlled them to.
No, I think it was to give them a house that they could draw power from and become stronger, or some BS. But then he regretted doing it, and he hated himself for doing it, yet he was still helping them in the end.
At least he said he was their slave.
Yeah, he contradicted himself so many times.
And then she's like, I am death.
Yeah, I know, they tried to...
She stated all 3 of the mothers' names, right?
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm death. So, like, are you all death? And then she, like, transformed
No, they're all different. Like, one's the mother of tears, one's the mother of sorrow, One's the Mother of Shadows or something like that. So no, none of them.
This was the Mother of Shadows.
Yeah, so none of them are actually the Mother of Death. Once again, it was a poorly conceived script with great one-line stingers that amount to nothing and don't help the plot other than confuse it even more.
Yep. Well, it took them 27 years to make a sequel to this.
Yes, there's a reason why.
So maybe there's actually.
I actually somewhat enjoyed Suspiria. Like Suspiria was all over the place and it was kind of like made like it was in like dream logic, but it was enjoyable to an extent. You know what I mean?
To an extent.
Yeah, but this one, I'm like.
I literally could not wait for this movie to be over.
I know, neither could I. I was like, wow, this is bad. Like Argento tried to in the behind the scenes stuff, tried to blame it was the producers and the acting and all this jazz. I'm like, no, the biggest problem with this film was your direction, your script.
Yeah.
Your script sucked and you had no idea what the heck you were doing. Like, that was the biggest problem in this movie. Yeah, it didn't help that some of the actors weren't that good, but if you at least had a good script and an actual idea, an iota of an idea what you really, really wanted to do, then even with bad actors, you could have produced something halfway decent.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
No.
Because you had it's all sucked. You had no idea what you were doing. You thought you might have did, but you didn't. And Inferno's the result of it.
The Card Killer or something.
One of his later films.
Card Killer. Behind the scenes stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness, that film looks like something I definitely want to watch.
Yeah, I know.
Played cards and died.
But it looked like it was a computer game of some kind, not an actual card game. So it had a very misleading title. I have never seen that film, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, getting back to this one, but man.
Do we have to?
Yeah, sadly, because this was the review's on.
Oh, yeah, I guess it makes sense.
So we should talk about Inferno, not another one of his bad movies we haven't seen yet.
The place burned down in an Inferno?
Yes, it just like in Suspiria, the place burnt down. And this film has it has no resolution at all. Like I remember Argento talking about, there's secrets in this film that only I know, and some people have figured them out, but I'm not willing to tell. Yeah, it's called You Have No Idea. You're BSing yourself and your audience. You're so full of your own crap that you're so far up your own behind that you're starting to get high off your own fumes. I'm sorry, bro, but
what's that place at the beginning of the film where the keys were at? Was that Suspiria?
Oh, you mean the dance hall from Suspiria? I don't think so. I don't think they ever really went there in this, did they?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The beginning scene where she jumped in the water to get the keys.
No, that was beneath the hotel. Remember, she left the apartment buildings, and then the bookstore was in the basement of the apartment building. It was like one of the storefronts at the front, and then she left and went into the alleyway in between the apartment building and the next building, and then opened up the grate in the ground and went down into the underground cavern in New York City, and then found the hole in the ground.
Which was almost like a sunken mansion.
Yeah.
It was like there was more to the hotel that.
Yeah, you could get away with telling me that's something in Italy because
absolutely.
Because there is sunken portions of cities throughout Italy. So yeah, you might randomly find a room or a hotel room underwater, or an apartment or a part of an apartment building underwater, and find stuff like that. But not so much in New York City. That's also a giveaway that the majority of this film wasn't filmed in New York too. I thought it was in New York the whole time. I know, man. Just just the stuff they pull in here. You're like, oh, obviously this is filmed in Italy, and they're trying to pretend it's New York. You know.
Well, at least it wasn't the Indian mansion from the last one, the Indian designs.
Oh yeah, I know. That's hilarious. So basically, I know, because the last one, it was supposed to take place in Germany.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be a German dance hall.
Yeah.
But it was actually filmed in Italy, and then they used a building that was designed by Indian developers, so it looks like a Middle Eastern building, like a Taj Mahal kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's in Italy. But we're supposed to believe it's in Germany and it's a German dance school, although it looks like an Indian palace, and the rest of the city looks like you're in Rome. But sure, we're somewhere in Germany for sure.
Definitely.
With Suspiria.
And this is definitely New York.
And this is 100% New York, because they had that New York mailbox there. by that clearly Italian-looking road.
They did. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, so this is how you get away with it being New York? Look, guys,
There's
and
a mailbox.
a blue American mailbox. It clearly must be in New York. This wasn't filmed in Italy at all.
At least they sprung for that. At least they tried.
Well, this actually had a higher budget than Suspiria. I think they had $3 million on this one.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, God.
I know. Which is hilarious
What did you
because it
spend
looks
it on?
like cocaine, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, just probably spent it on drugs.
I mean, you'd have to give your actors that if they wanted to be in this movie for only
I'm
5
like-
minutes.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm like,
I'm not doing another scene unless I get.
I think the money
went.
went into a lot of people's pockets, not into production of this film. Because Suspiria looks like it had more money pumped into it than
Yeah.
this film did, and
Yeah.
it cost about half as much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, where did the money go? Oh, and
That's a film.
and like the logic how they get from point A to point B to point C in this film. Anytime
There
they,
was a point A to point B to point C.
well, I'm getting to that. What I'm saying is, anytime they discover something or figure something out, it was like a leap in logic how they got there. Like how he figured out that there was crawl spaces in between the floors. Remember, he was looking. Yeah, I know exactly. Your face right now. So he was doing that thing where he was quoting
Walls.
the. Yeah, I know.
The picture on the thing. I'm gonna get
No,
a marker.
it didn't start there. It started with him remembering and reciting the line about the key is under your feet. The key is under your feet.
It's under the soles of your shoes.
That's it.
And it's like,
and then he saw
it's the floor,
and I know.
but the walls. It's
The
the
floor,
floor.
we know.
But the picture.
It's
It's
the
the
floor.
floor. But I'm gonna get this marker and draw lines.
Because
on the picture on the
now I'm
wall.
thinking about that. I see the picture of the apartment building on the wall, and now I'll take the marker and make lines in between each floor, realizing there seems to be a lot of space there.
Oh, now I get how he did that. You just explained that better than the movie did.
Yeah,
I was seriously wondering what
he's like
he was saying. Like, oh,
he was going on.
there's-
He was going on with the marker, saying, "Wait a minute, there's a lot of space in between these floors." And then he saw the hole in the one
where
floorboard,
the ants were coming
and
through. All of a
the
sudden.
bugs or ants or wherever they were coming through,
They're
and,
ants.
and then he shoved down the clothes hanger down, which he got through no problem. Clearly, it was indicating that there was empty space under there or a big enough hole for that to go through.
Yeah.
But then when he pulled up the floorboard, it
Yeah,
was
like,
concrete, and
Hand
I'm
on
like,
it.
where did the
There was
clothes?
one hole that went all the way down, and he just happened to put it through the right hole.
But when he pulled up the floorboard, where was that hole, bro?
It was kind of there.
Yeah, really?
It was kind of
Oh, it
there.
was kind of there.
It was kind of
It was
there.
kind of there.
Yeah.
Because then like as soon as he pulled out the floorboard, I'm like, how do you get the clothes hanger through?
There was like a little hole in that.
There was a scratch on the cement, and then that's where he started digging because clearly somebody had that from the prop department. Was like, that's where you start. Like, there wasn't a hole the way through, man.
You know, the camera angles didn't show one way or another. I'll give him that.
Sure. So then he digs through the concrete.
And then a cat jumps into the hole, and you see a hand grab
Yeah,
the
you
cat.
see the prop guy
It's
grab
like,
the cat. Yeah.
Oh, where did?
We'll
where'd that
pretend
hand
like
come
he's not
from?
there.
Or like that one
did it
scene
earlier. Yeah.
where they were throwing cats on the one girl.
The one. No, it was
And
the
you
old
c-
guy.
Was the old guy?
It was the, I'm pretty sure it was the old guy. So remember, he came to complain about it to the like the land not the landlord.
No,
to the,
it was.
He came to the superintendent of the apartment building. He came to complain about it because remember they got into his apartment building and they were jumping at him and they were scratching at him. That's why he was so mad. That's why later he went and drowned a bunch of the cats.
No, he died in the thing, but
He died later.
He
but,
died in the
But that
water.
was the reason why he ended up drowning.
No, there was
the cats
another
later.
scene where they were throwing cats at her. Some chick was getting cats. thrown
That
at
could
her.
have been, but
And they literally were
but-
seeing.
But
the
it was
hands throwing
like
the cats.
it was also the old guy too who had the cats earlier. That's
Yeah,
why he was
deserved
mad.
what he got.
That's why he was
He
mad,
deserved what he got.
and that's why later he drowned a bunch of them because they did it again. And he's like, after he's already gone to the superintendent, he's like, I don't care. I'm dealing with these guys myself.
Yeah, he deserved what he
Yeah,
got.
and then he got killed by the rats because
Well,
he killed
by
cats.
something else.
Well, he initially
Oh, he was
killed a batch of
dead
cats.
before the rats got.
and then the rats got him. didn't they?
He tripped and fell, and then somebody killed him.
No. That was after the rats attacked, dude. So it was he did the cat. He drowned that bag of cats in the
Yeah,
water,
and then he tripped and fell.
and then he tripped and fell, and that's when the rats got him. And then all of a sudden, you see the hot dog vendor running over. You think, oh, he's gonna help him, And he's like, no, he ends up stabbing him more. He's joining in the killing. And it's like, okay, that was random out of nowhere, but sure. I guess they were trying to allude to back from the first Suspiria movie, where I think the blind guy got stabbed by that random person or got killed by his dog or something.
Oh,
because the witches were controlled.
Wow,
so
they really...
It was a stretch, I know.
They really did
It's like, remember that callback to the other film? So that's what they're trying to say, like, the rats and the hot dog vendor were under the influence of the Mother of Shadows, and that's why he got killed.
Okay. Definitely was very clear.
Yeah, I know.
You're making more sense of this film than the film did.
I know. And then, yeah, where were we? Anyway. So, yeah, so, so no, we're talking about the floorboards, the crawl space. So then he breaks through the concrete.
Yeah.
And then reaches his hand down and finds, like, a letter or something in there that has words on it in Italian that he reads out loud in Italian that they don't put any English subtitles on.
Or we're dubbing the whole film, but we're just not going to dub that.
Or we're not going to dub that or put subtitles on it. But so, yeah, sure. But what I also pointed out, too, like, when he reached his hand in to grab the letter, the crawl space was a lot smaller than when 5 seconds later he jumped down into it, because now it had grown in size.
Yeah.
So I'm like, planning would have helped this movie so much, even in the visual department.
Yep.
So anyway, now the crawl
space
space is doubled in size for him to be able to get into, and then he crawls through it to find an exit out of the crawl space
door,
to then go to what was it? Oh, a staircase that leads to another crawl space, which realistically I think was the main staircase of the building. So really, realistically, he didn't even have to go through the trouble of breaking through the floors.
I don't think that was the main one. I think that was literally
or the one on the side.
Space access.
No,
the storage space stairwell.
maybe you might be right.
He was at the one, he went down.
Then there's regular doors too.
No, that was the secret, the secret part of the apartment.
Maybe that was. I feel like that's a stretch.
That was the secret part where the villain was.
I feel like that was a stretch.
It was a hidden.
Because you had to go through another door. Because then he had to go into the basement and then through a door to get there. So I feel because as I was saying, because I'm pretty sure that was actually the main staircase of the building.
But there was no other doors other than the compartments.
No, there wasn't. There was actual doors to floors. That's what I'm like. Oh, that's dumb. Because you literally could have solved that problem without having to break through the floors. You just had to walk up those stairs and take a look and see. Oh, there's smaller doors along the staircase in between the floors. So all I had to do was actually open one of them up and crawl through them. And remember, the second crawl space he didn't even go into. He just opened it and looked into it and closed it and then continued down the stairs until he got to the basement door, opened the door up in the basement, went down its steps into the other door and found the guy's lair. Was like, oh, so you must know who I am, blah, blah, blah.
No.
Like, no, I have no idea who you are. I'm just looking for my sister. What's going on here? It's like, that's what I mean.
So I wonder if the two people are going to show up.
Huh?
The two survivors.
I doubt it. In Mother of Tears?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Is there going to be any kind of resolution?
I doubt it. Was there any real resolution from Suspiria in this one?
Yeah, the Suspiria, the place got burned down and killed the witch.
No, but I mean, was there any real follow-up to it, like the aftermath, or finding out?
I didn't even know it was connected.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like, nothing gets solved for the guy in this movie. He doesn't know his sister's dead. We, as the audience, know his sister's dead. Spoiler alert, guys, for a film that's almost over 40 years old at this point.
That's true. 43.
Yeah, so it's like he doesn't know what happens to his sister. He doesn't find out. He doesn't specifically find out what's happened to his friend in Rome before he left, the girl who got killed with the random neighbor of his.
Yeah.
So he doesn't specifically know what happened there. He just knows they died. He doesn't know actually what happened to his sister, even though as the audience we know she died. And he doesn't really understand what the hell is going on. because he is confused by the end of that film.
He's just like, I just came to look for my sister.
I have no idea what's going on here. And like, we don't even know what their motivation is. Like the demon or witches or wherever they are motivation
to gain power.
Because, well, they want him for some reason. They want to transform him. Transform him into what? A monster, a demon, an avatar? Do you want to possess him? Do you want to use his body? Do you want to transform him and control him? Is he going to be your new slave to replace the old guy in the basement?
That's what I think.
That's giving them credit. They knew what they were doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they keep talking about transforming
him. That was literally
him,
the first thought that popped into my head.
I know, but they keep talking about transforming him, though, right?
Into a cripple like the other guy.
No, but like that's what kind of throws that logic out the window, because like, oh, you don't really need to transform him. You just need to mentally break him.
Mind.
You know, you just need to mentally break him and then subdue him under your spell like everybody else. You don't need to transform him. When you say we're going to transform you, and there's many, would you say there was many? There's many stages on this journey in your transformation, indicating that like he's going to become something, not just the new slave to replace the other old guy. It's like, that's what I mean about where they throw out these weird one-liners that sound cool, that mean nothing, that make the plot more confusing. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know where he was going with this. I really feel like he honestly doesn't know where he was going with this. He pretends he does because it makes people think he's smarter, and it gives him a better self-image. And even though we all know, Dario, we love you, but we know you're a bit of a hack. You know, like, I find your movies entertaining, but I know they're garbage. It's like watching a U-Bowl movie nowadays. You enjoy them for the piece of crap they are, and you know they're a piece of crap, but they're still entertaining to a degree. Some of them are, but this is what I mean. Like, I feel like Dario Argento was the U-Bowl of the old the previous generation. I know a lot of people are going to be having a heart attack with me saying that,
of course,
because
your opinion.
Because it's in my opinion.
Yeah,
and I'll give Argento's earlier works were actually pretty halfway decent. But his later stuff, you could either put Dario Argento or U-Bowl, and you couldn't even tell the difference in the film.
Tenebrae is better than these two. That's
Tenebrae, yeah. Because clearly he was invested in Tenebrae. From the interviews, it sounds like he couldn't even give two craps about making this film. He just did it for the money, which he probably pocketed.
I didn't feel like doing a sequel right away. I wanted to do other things.
Oh, for the third one? Yeah. Which we found out in the interviews, that's BS. Like, his statement in that one interview about how he didn't want to make the third installment in the series, Mothers of Tears, because he just was tired of making those films and wanted to move on to other films. But then we find out like 5 seconds later in the rest of the interview that his entire statement was BS, because apparently he started working on the third one with his wife, and then the two of them separated and divorced. And then she wanted to continue working on it. Well, he lost interest and wanted to go do other things at that point.
Yeah.
And then she started working on it with another Italian director. And then apparently that director didn't want to technically make the third Mother of Tears, and reworked the script he was working on with her into something more original and called it The Black Cat, which we'll get into in about 10 seconds here. And then she took her name off that project because it had changed so much from her original idea of making it the third Mother's film that it was its own thing, so she wanted nothing to do with it.
But it's not really her film to make.
Well, apparently she co-wrote the other two. That was the thing.
Oh God!
And and the rumors behind the scenes is she did the heavy work on the scripts, and he got a lot more credit than he deserved.
Oh, okay.
Which doesn't mean anything, because the script for this was crap regardless. Anywho, so getting back on that, so they did this film called The Black Cat, but it had changed so much from her original idea that it became its own thing, and the director who did The Black Cat didn't want to do the third Mother's film because he felt that was Dario's territory and he didn't want to step on his feet.
Yeah.
So it became its own thing, and then it never got released because the studio that was making it went bankrupt. So the negative is trapped in some kind of bankruptcy vault in some American bankruptcy thing. So they never actually released the film.
Really?
Yeah, and then basically, from what I understand, what The Black Cat was kind of like somebody was making a movie, about them making the movies, Suspiria and Inferno. Like they're like it was like somebody had heard those tales and was trying to actually make a movie. So they pretend like those two films, they weren't actually films, they were folklore, and they had heard about it, and they were making their own film, which was based on that. And then there was another killer involved, or another demon entity that was really behind it, and it was loosely connected, but it really wasn't.
Okay.
And then years later, he finally got to doing the third installment, Mother of Tears, and the only reason he did it by then was because he needed a hit, and he thought finally doing the long-awaited sequel everybody was asking for was going to rejuvenate his career, and it sadly did not, because a lot of people who enjoyed the first two films hates the third one.
Oh, that gets me so excited for the third one.
I know. I'm sadly so going to torture you on that one.
A little bit.
Yep. So yeah, I guess let's wrap this up because we're spinning wheels here.
Yeah.
If you like Dario Argento, you'll at least get a kick out of this film.
It's got some moments.
It's not as good as Suspiria.
I wish the one character.
So if you go into thinking, oh, I really enjoyed Suspiria, you might be a little bit let down by this. But if you understand it's its own thing and it doesn't make sense, and I think they try to explain away with like dream logic filmmaking, which is a way like a hack writer and director explains away why the film doesn't coherently hang together and it's a piece of crap and it's all over the place. I'm sure Michael Bay could use that excuse.
Oh, he probably has.
But yeah, so anywho, if you like Argento, check it out. If you enjoyed Suspiria but have never seen this, it's at least worth a watch. But you'll see what we mean when you watch it, or maybe you'll actually enjoy it.
I wish the one actress lasted longer. I liked her.
Oh, I know. It's
The one
like
who, like, got
they
the
keep
letter.
throwing you left and right, thinking, "Oh, who's going to be the main antagonist of the
Yeah.
film?" Because in a lot of his films, he usually has a female protagonist.
Yeah.
And they give you a few, thinking, "Oh, which one's it going to be?" And they kill them all off, and you realize, "Oh,
It's
the inept male brother is actually the lead of this film." Oh, okay, didn't see that coming. So at least that was a good twist.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the film, he's like, "I have no idea what's going on here. I have no idea who you are. I'm just looking for my sister." And then he still gets no answers by the end of the film. But on that note, have a good one, everybody.
Adios.
Sayonara.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe, and all that jazz. All right, bye.